Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs in New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Me, I'm Rob, live on the show. Let's go.
Oh my God!
What happened?
We just effed up the draft. Is what happened.
That's
Right? Is that not I mean, I'm not wrong in saying it that way. We just effed up the draft. Like that's where we're at now, guys. I'm waiting to see. Tankathon hasn't updated it yet, but I said by my calculations, we should be at pick 4 now instead of 1. That's a big difference, guys. So let's get right into it.
There's a lot of info to go over.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So let's go into the implications here in the draft, because that's the biggest thing I know people want to talk about here going on. So, so the big thing was going into it. Obviously, we had the number 1 pick in this draft overall. The Raiders won today, 25-10. The Jaguars won today as well. Where'd the score go for that? I just remember that from earlier.
It was like 20-10.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. Like I said, I'm still waiting for Tankathon to finish this here. I don't know why they haven't updated. Usually they're pretty good at that. They usually are. But like I said, to my estimation,
teams that should have lost, the teams that we are battling with first place, they also won today as well.
Some of them. That's the problem. Just some of them did. So I'm trying to upload it now, but it still don't want to take forever. I don't know if the website's uploading, and that's why it's taking forever. But like I said, by my calculations, we should be behind the Patriots, the Titans, and the Browns at that point for pick number 4 overall. Now, keep in mind
Patriots
Browns are still got to play. So they're playing the Dolphins. So we got to root hard for the Browns at that point, because that puts us at pick number 3. And then you got the Patriots are going to play next week against the Bills. You got the Titans are going to play next week against the Ravens, I believe. Texans it was. So, and then the Browns, they must be playing the Ravens. I remember somebody was playing the Ravens. Yeah, they're playing
the Browns. It's a divisional game.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. So you got a lot of hope here that you need to have for these teams to start losing, for us to winning. For us to start getting back up there in the draft.
Yeah. Well, also, Drew, you got to remember, like half these teams don't need a quarterback. We do.
Yes, I wouldn't say half.
You think the Patriots? Do you think the Patriots are going to go with the quarterback?
Team I think doesn't need a quarterback right now. You think the Titans are happy with Will Levis?
I think they like the mayo and the coffee.
I'm just saying. I'm not confident in that. You think the Browns aren't looking at trying to move on from Deshaun Watson? They might have to keep him on the roster because of the contract, but Deshaun Watson has played like pure poop since he's been a Brown.
That's a very nice
name.
He's literally played like a brownie.
Played like Brown. So you have 2 quarterbacks in this draft. Not to mention the fact that, let's say hypothetically, if you're the Patriots and you got a quarterback needy team, like let's say the Raiders, like I said, they won today as well. You don't think they're going to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to move up from 8 to 1. We're going to give you our first round pick, and we're going to give you a boatload of picks so we can get Shedeur Sanders. That possible is there. And that puts, Tankathon did update it. So yeah, Patriots pick number 1, Titans pick number 2, Giants pick number 3, Browns are 4. But the Browns are only 4 because they're half a game back because they hadn't played yet today. If they win, we have a stronger strength of schedule, which puts us down to number 4. Like I said, absolutely crazy here. I never thought I'd see this happening there. I'm just, not very happy. Not very happy at all, guys.
No, I mean, at least we got to see Malik Nabers look like a shiny new toy. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what I've been saying all along. The Giants have weapons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like,
yeah,
we're close to being like right there. Like in this, this win, see how excited we are to see like what our weapons can do. Also, is going to set us back because you want to shine you a weapon at quarterback.
Yeah,
and
we're still going to get a quarterback, guys. Let me just tell you that point blank right now. I'm calling it right now. No matter what happens, we are getting a quarterback. Now, what's going to happen is, because I see people asking about if we're going to get the first pick overall still somehow, and keep the comments coming, guys. We will definitely get to all your comments here.
Yeah.
So if we are hypothetically number 4 right now, let's say the Browns lose. Let's say the Browns lose. We're going to bat down number 4. That's the worst case scenario for us this week. You need the Browns, the Titans, and the Patriots all to win next week, which is not very likely.
No.
Not at all. So what we really need right now is for the Giants to stay at number 3 and for the Browns to win today. Then if the
against Dolphins
or the Titans happen to win next week, maybe the other teams rest some players. We get to number 2, maybe, but even at 3 is not a bad spot to be because we're guaranteed to either get Travis Hunter or one of those top 2 quarterbacks. It's still not a bad place to be. But 4, now you're talking a different ballgame.
Yep.
But I still think what's going to happen is if the Giants like one of these quarterbacks, I still think they will make the trade up to get them. It's just a matter of if they like them enough to trade up. And if they do, I'm cool with it. And if they don't, then that just tells me they weren't confident in those guys enough, which means it might be a blessing in the end that we don't get them, because you don't want to get a guy just because he's there. You want to get him because he is going to be the guy for your franchise going forward.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple ways to look at it too. Because like if you think that's your dude that's going to be your franchise like resetter.
Yep.
Like in Eli, you're looking to draft a guy for the next 10, 15 years. So you want to be confident. Like, I'm okay with the Giants going in there and like, here's all our picks. This is our dude.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. If they're that confident, I'm okay with that. But if they're not confident and they're sitting there like, all right, we're at pick 3. We're going to miss on the top 2 quarterbacks, and we're not going to draft. We're not going to trade up for them and try everything to trade up. I'm also okay with that because that means, like you said, Drew, they're not confident in that guy to be the dude.
Now, I'll say this too: if we end up at pick number 3 and we don't trade up for one of the quarterbacks, I would trade back in a freaking heartbeat if somebody really wanted Travis Hunter.
Oh,
and I feel like there's teams that will want him. I would trade back in a heartbeat. I'm not that high on Hunter per se, and it's not he's a bad quarterback. I just, like I said, I don't think he's as great as everybody seems to think he is. We already have a top flight receiver in Nabers. We do need a top corner, but I think his place in the NFL is going to be the wide receiver position. He'll probably be a guy that you can put out there in dime nickel coverage and stuff like that and third downs. But I really think that. I really think that's where we're looking at. Again, I think pick 3 is where we got to be. We got to be there because, like I said, if they stay put, you got the Patriots taking Travis Hunter probably first overall. They don't need a quarterback unless they trade back. And then you got the Titans will take a quarterback, and we would get whatever quarterback is left, which would probably be Cam Ward. And I'm not upset with getting Cam Ward. I don't think there's that much separation between the 2 quarterbacks, honestly. I think Shedeur Sanders has a higher floor, but he's also got a lower ceiling than Cam Ward does. I think Cam Ward definitely needs a little more time to sit and get taught some things, that's for sure. I think Shedeur is more NFL ready, but I think Cam Ward has the higher ceiling. He really does. But we'll get into the quarterbacks show later because we did have some topics to go over with you guys that we're going to go over as far as the the quarterbacks and the news about this weekend here with the bowl games and all that kind of stuff here. But guys, like I said, I think flabbergasted, disgusted, and just at a loss right now. I never thought we'd win this game.
We're at a loss by winning.
Yeah. Imagine if I had told you that the Colts are going to score 33 points and the Giants were going to win.
Oh, laugh in your face.
Seriously, who wouldn't know?
We haven't put up over 30 points in all year, and we put up 45? What?
Who wouldn't?
What?
Yeah, like I said, this is just... And then, you got to look at next week, too, because next week, the Eagles have nothing to play for, guys. Only thing they might play for, if you want to say might, is Saquon Barkley to go for the NFL record for single-season rushing yards. He needs another 100 and some odd yards to do it, which is possible against this Giants defense. Let's be honest. They were horrible with him last time. Yeah, but absolutely insane, guys. I can't believe this is going on. I really can't. This is definitely...
Tankathon just went to Stankathon.
Yeah. I know. And imagine if we lose next week. Win next week. Imagine if that. Our problem is our strength of schedule is so goddamn tough that it crushes us in the tiebreakers. So, we could go, let's say if we win next week, hypothetically, we can go as far back as pick 9. That would jack us up so badly. It's not even funny. Absolutely would jack us up. And I can't, I don't want to think of that possibility right now. I can't. It's just absolutely insane. That's just woof. It's like talking about a worst case scenario.
Yeah. Woof.
So yeah. You know what, guys, we're gonna wait to the comments afterwards. Let's go through the comments now because I know you guys are just raring to go. This is just like woof for all y'all right now. Before we do, guys, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button, guys. We are on a quest here to hit to 1,000 subscribers. We need just 92 more as of right now to get there. So appreciate you guys helping that. There are 39 people watching, 40 people watching the show live right now as we speak. Most are all on YouTube. And I guarantee you some of you guys haven't hit that like and subscribe yet there. So hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, please, and help us out there. All righty. Big task at hand just gives the sigh emoji. Is that a sigh emoji? Yeah. Jay, I want Rob's salami XO. What the hell? I don't know if he's talking about lunch meat or something else there, Rob. Or if it's a he, it's just a J. Who knows? It could be a woman. I don't know. Big task at hand. My soul is crying in a little crying thing. Stephen Waterbury, we just are set. I think you mean set ourselves back a few more years. Again, I don't know about that part. It's at the set. Yeah. I don't know about that one. I just don't. I don't want to go a few more years because these quarterbacks, as much as we like them, as much as we want one, I can't sit there and say these guys are the greatest quarterback prospects ever. They're can't misses. We need a quarterback, guys. There's no doubt about that one. But to sit there and act like we just lost out on like a prospect, like an Andrew Luck kind of guy, like a can't miss, no doubt about it kind of guy. I mean, even those, there's not a can't miss. How are the Bears doing right now?
Well,
though Rob and I did call that one.
Yeah, let's say
we did.
Williams is definitely no luck.
We did say that. Deb says Patriots and Browns won't go QB. Patriots, I agree. I still think the Browns would. If you had the chance and you're the Browns and you know you don't have your answer on your roster right now, and you got Myles Garrett saying I might ask for a trade request, it would not shock me at all if they went ahead and drafted a quarterback. Even if you sit him for a year and let Deshaun Watson play one more year as a starter, it's not the worst thing to let a guy sit for a year or two. Look at the Packers. It works for them. Connor says, anyway, we can get number 1 pick still. I'm so mad. Twice they've done this to win meaningless games. We went over that earlier. Like I said, it's possible, but it's not likely. It's not. Jay goes, great googly moogly. I'm not sure if that's about your sausage or if that's
great googly moogly.
Edward says, excited they win. Well, I'm glad someone's excited. It's a big task at hand. I think Takeathon broke the internet, LOL. It's like Kim Kardashian's bud. Deb says, I was glad to see Nabers and Tracy get their record. So yeah, for those who missed it in the game, they both got 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Malik Nabers had a monster game, obviously. But we'll go over the game itself in a minute. Like I said, I wanted to go over this because this is going to be the topic at hand first. Is the draft pick that we just lost out on potentially. Jay says, "Can I get a Hoya?"
Hoya.
Richard Law says, "Giants win now. No Sanders reward. Great job, you bunch of morons." Well, first off, I hope you don't mean us for goofballs, but again, it's not over with yet. The big thing is we got to lose next week, but if we sit at pick 3, then we're still probably getting a quarterback. We're still probably are, barring a trade.
It's amazing next week.
I'm telling you guys,
when the Eagles want to lose and we want to lose, we sit there trying to take the Eagles
want to lose. They just don't care if they win.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we hypothetically are sitting at pick 3, though, if we're at 3 and you got the Titans in front of us there, you got to wonder if a team like the Browns, the Raiders are going to try to leapfrog us and make a trade with the Patriots. The Patriots are sitting goddamn pretty in this scenario. Like I said, think about it. If you're a team that needs a quarterback, we're going to use the Raiders because the Raiders are a perfect example. If you need a quarterback next year and you're sitting there picked 8, like I think I said they're 8 right now, you're not going to get a quarterback. You know it. You know that you're not getting that quarterback, and you know that the Giants and the Titans are probably taking a quarterback at 2 and 3. Like I said, it could get muddied up even worse if the Browns win. I said the Browns lose, which I think they're going to be very frank with you guys. I know I picked them to beat the try to lose to the Dolphins. I can't remember your pick in that game.
I picked Dolphins to win.
Yeah, so I mean that muddies the water even worse because we're at pick 4 then. But I think the Patriots phone calls are going to start ringing off the hook like crazy the second this season ends, point blank, because you're not going to wait. You don't want to do it now, and then God forbid you trade it for the first overall pick, and they hypothetically win next week somehow, and then all of a sudden your trade looks horrendous. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy there. Connor says it's not worth moving up to get number 1. It depends on what you have to give up. It really does. Like, let's say, for example, if you're the Patriots and you're and it stays like it is now, where it goes Patriots, Titans, Giants, and you trade with the Giants, hypothetically, we get the first overall pick back. You're still getting Travis Hunter. Giants are getting the quarterback they want. Titans still get a quarterback as well. So you're still getting Travis Hunter, and now you get all these extra picks. What sucks is the Giants are going to have to give up extra picks now if they really want to get Shedeur Sanders. And I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it or not. But if they do it, it better be worth it.
Yeah.
I would have had no problem with them picking either quarterback at number 1. Trading up, it depends on what you're trading up to get it there. So, Connor says, I say we trade our pick at quarterback later, fix O-line, get defensive end and secondary now. Yeah, that might be the best bet depending on what we can get. Deb says it's a possibility that the Giants win next week because the Eagles will be resting up. Exactly. Jay says it's so tight. What's going on? Do you know who this Jay person is? I feel like there's like
so tight.
I feel like there's somebody you know in this comments here. Steven says be careful what you ask for. Connor says should have just let Saquon keep playing for 50 more yards because it's not a guarantee that he gets over 100 yards on us because we show up to stop records. As much as I was mad about Saquon, I'm happy he got that 2,000 yards. Yeah, like I said, I ain't going to hate on that. I'm just going to say if he breaks the record next week, it's not legit because he had an extra game to do it. But it's a legit thing getting 2,000 yards in 16 games. That's legit. That's great all time. Dakota LOL laughs at us. Not cool, Dakota.
Yeah.
Deb says also if Titans want Sanders and we're good with Ward, then we stay put at 3. Again, depends on the trade. It all depends on what the Patriots do. And if I'm the Patriots, I'm going to call them up like crazy the second the season's up, saying, "Oh, so-and-so wants to trade up. So-and-so wants to trade up. What are you willing to give up to trade up?"
100%, especially after last year.
Yeah, and if I'm them, I'm not making a trade quickly. I'm going to keep on getting as much as I can. I'm going to keep on working those phones nonstop until I get the best.
You're going to juice it.
I'm going to juice it for every single thing at that point there. Connor says, I'm stuck at who to get for quarterback constantly. It'd be funny if the Vikings let Sam Darnold go and we get him. The Jets are right next door and we win with him. LOL. I don't think Sam Darnold is going anywhere personally. I think they're going to tag him. That's what I think. It's
definitely probably the right move for them. Just
Yeah.
That's quarterback. He's playing well.
But it's also JJ McCarthy had 2 surgeries on that you know, it was definitely a rougher injury recovery than people expected. So I'm not stuck that he's going to be available to be in the season. Plus, you know, you want to give up a guy that you know succeeds in the system to get a guy that may or may not. You don't know. I would until JJ McCarthy proves he's as good as Darnold. I wouldn't let Darnold go.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Dakota says, "Sit behind who?" LOL. Kirk Cousins. I mean, why not? Let's be very frank. As bad as Kirk Cousins has been towards the end of the year, he got obviously benched for Michael Penix. Can you honestly tell me that Kirk Cousins is not better than any of the quarterbacks we've had this year?
You can't. With a straight face, you can't.
You can't. That's the benefit. The bar has been set so goddamn low. We got nowhere to go but up. You know, like
up.
That's where we're at. We're going Jefferson's on me here.
A little bit.
We did not get a piece of the pie, just for the record. Backs to talk says, I'm fine with it, especially if this is the last win of the season. Yeah, we'll have to find out next week if it is. Stephen Waterbury, keep in mind, Eagles will lay down like dogs against us. I know. Gerald Barnes, Shador looked bad in that BYU game. BYU is a pro-style defense, and he looked terrible. We had the number 1 overall pick in hands, and we win. But I think we'll end up with 3 or 4. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's what we'll probably end up to, barring us beating the Eagles too. I'm going to be so goddamn pissed if we beat the Eagles and the freaking Colts to end the season. Absolutely insane. Deb says, I'm seriously torn. Why wouldn't I be happy that these players have not given up? Players don't listen to fans and also don't get to the NFL without a competitive spirit. I'm with you. Like I said, I hate that I'm so pissed off we lost. If I'm being frank about it, I don't like the fact that I'm pissed off we lost. But you know, we saw a lot of good things here too. Like I said, we'll get to the game itself in a minute here. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to vent because I know you all are kind of a flurry of emotions like we are here with this game going on right now. Because it's absolutely insane, you know, to see us.
When was the last time we put up 3 touchdowns in the first half? Like, what?
Dude, we were saying it on the play-by-play. It's like the Giants had a chance to get 50 points if they had scored a touchdown that last drive instead of the field goal and gone for 2. They wouldn't have done it because they're not going to run up the score like that and be classless like that. But absolutely insane. We came close to scoring 50 points in a game. We hadn't scored 30 points in a game.
I was going to say, what was the last time we scored in the 40s?
I think we just doubled our scoring for the year.
Probably. That's
where it feels like. That's where it feels like here. I mean, what was our highest? I'm trying to think. What was our highest? Probably was the Seattle game. Was probably our highest.
Yeah, that was
output. That was 29.
27. All right,
29 points. We had 29 points to get them. 21 against the Browns. And I'm trying to think. 22 against the Commanders. 20 against the Cowboys. Yeah. That's so we only hit a handful of times 20 points, let alone 40. Absolutely insanity. Dakota says Jimmy Carter has died. I did just see that as well.
Yep.
100 years old. So yeah, I mean, he's been on hospice care for like a year and all. So, you know, I just hope if there's any kind of pain that's over us, and regardless of party lines, whatever, like we don't get into politics in the show, point blank. You know, always feel bad when he passes away. Feel bad for the friends
and your family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It's not about politics, just about being a person at that point. Connor says, at least Saquon will. I don't know, did you mean to misspell that way? That kind of came out weird. Saquon will get the record in our stadium, so it's kind of like he did it for us, if that makes any sense at all. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. He didn't do it for us. He did it for the damn Eagles.
And you spelled his name wrong, damn it.
But somehow it came out right. Connor says, so which one of you or both of you jinxed us out of this number 1 pick, talking about us maybe losing to the Colts? We both did. We both expected it. Definitely did. Connor Greer says, I am personally stoked we won. Listen, I don't begrudge anybody who's happy we won. I really don't. I wish I could be. I really do, because I hate, you know, we talked about it against even last year with the DeVito games and stuff like that. We were still happy we won. Who cares about the pick at that point? We won. I don't have that feeling this year because we were so close to the first overall pick. You know, I just don't know where we go from here. And it also makes the coaching and GM job less attractive. That's part of the equation too, because I don't want Dable and Shane. It also makes the Giants more likely to say, "Oh yeah, look, we won a couple games down the stretch. We should keep Dable and Shane." Not good, guys.
No.
Connor says, "I think they should fire Dable and Shane." Ironically enough, he just says that. I think they should fire Dable and Shane right now because they didn't make sure our guys lost this game. That's not how it works, Connor. That's not how this works. Not how any of this works. Oh my gosh. Marshmallow. I'm taking off a few years. Nothing to look forward to. We'll see on that. I'm not giving up there. I'm not giving
up either.
Dakota says, LOL, too much to move up. It depends on what we have to move up. Let's say if we have to give up next year's first round pick, hypothetically, to move up. You know, and that's it. Because the Patriots still get Travis Hunter. I would have no problem with that if the Giants are that confident in the quarterback they're selecting.
Yes.
I have no problem with that. Now, if you're telling me I'm giving up 2 first-round picks in a second, no, stop. Now you're just being insane. So, I will say this, though. We will do a mock draft tomorrow show with our new draft positioning, whether it be 3 or 4, to let you guys know where we're at. But, yeah, it's like I said, it depends on what we're giving up if it's too much. Dakota says Trevor Hunter isn't what anybody thinks he is. He's an average wide receiver CV year. Awesome athlete, but WTF. I'm with you on that. I don't think he's as good as people think. I think people are just intrigued by the two-sided part of him playing wide receiver, playing corner. I think he needs to excel at one of them. I think his best shot is wide receiver. I just don't know if that's what's going to happen. I don't have all the faith in him. Let's see. Connor says, what do you think of Ewers, Beck, Daniels? Yeah, not really fans of those ones. I think if we're looking at anybody as far as the second tier, I was a pretty big fan of the way that the Oregon kid there, Gabriel, was, because he's proven he can win, I feel like, in the right system, but he's definitely in the right system kind of category. Like, you got to put him in where he can succeed. He's a little shorter too, so you got to have a good pocket for him. Obviously, that's been an issue for us. But I want to look at Dart a little more. We'll probably do a couple more of the quarterbacks as well to talk about. So Dart's going to definitely be one of them. So we got some more research to do on quarterbacks. That's for sure. Now I kind of stopped doing it because we're like, okay, we're gonna get one of these two.
Yeah, right.
It's on those two. Stephen Bloom says, set this franchise back into the decade. Let's not go that far. Guys, we have no clue what Sanders and Ward are going to be. Do I want them? No, I'm not trying to make revisionist history. I wanted these guys to be one of them to be a Giant, and I still do. But I'm not going to sit there and say setting us back for a decade. That's honest. I get where the emotion's coming from in this, but that's the emotions talking.
Yeah,
that's
what that is. It could be a Jamarcus Russell scenario.
You never know. Or it could be
big height.
Or it could just be that those guys are average quarterbacks in this league, and that's not good enough to win with.
Yeah.
We don't. Again, we're the Giants, guys. We don't want to just look average. We want to win rings. That's our goal. Art 730 says, even when we win, we lose. Shake my effing head. Gerald Barnes at Dakota. What player do you know that was above average on both sides of the ball in the same season? But above average, that's the problem. Above average is not necessarily good enough for a top 3 pick. And again, I'm not knocking him fully. I haven't done all the tape and stuff. We haven't done the draft profile on him yet. But from what I've seen so far, that's my impression. Brandon plays tank for Arch Manning in 2026.
Start taking now.
We'll see. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't think it's what I would want necessarily. I'm hoping that we're good enough next year that we don't have the ability to get Arch Manning personally. I'm tired of losing. Don't want to keep losing.
Yeah.
Brandon plays, sign Drew Lock as bridge and racks up picks for next year. He says 45 points amazes me. Yeah, 45 points is crazy. Connor says, hate to say this about Saquon because I want him to get the record, and it irks me to say this, but O.J. Simpson got 2,000 yards with 12 or 14 games back then, and Earl Campbell too. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's absolutely killer.
Pun intended.
Oh yes. I mean, Saquon getting the extra games than OJ got is like stabbing him in the back. It's what it is.
Or in front.
It's definitely a stabbing of some kind, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
run away with a white Bronco.
Art 730 says draft Dylan Gabriel in a latter round. Like I said, I think that's who my pick is personally. For doing a late round, mid round kind of guy to give him a shot. But like I said, we still got to look at Dart. I'm sure there's a couple other guys we're going to look at as well. But we've already kind of been hearing who isn't coming out. The kid from Penn State, a lot of guys like he's coming back to Penn State for the year. So, we'll see what happens. But definitely not first round Gabriel, that's for sure. He's more like a third round pick, I think, at that point. But we'll see what happens. DJ Scuba 12, what's a Brown win do for the Giants? Anything? Yes, it keeps us at pick 3. If the Browns lose, we're down to pick 4. Yeah, not good.
Yep.
Let's see. Gerald Barnes says, we didn't score 40 since 2019, bro. It's been a while. This is definitely the biggest offensive outing I've seen in a long time. Juanita Rosada, watch Philadelphia let us win on purpose. I would. Like I said, I don't think they're going to let us win on purpose. I just think they don't care.
That's there's a difference.
They just don't care. Christian, also Captain Zero. This team is so bad they're not even bad at being bad. Yeah, that's
it's the Mason statement.
It's truth though. It is the truth. Connor, I would get Travis Hunter right now, no matter what. He's got the more legitimate skills that we need. Defense plus wide receiver. And then he says, oops, I meant Gabriel, not Daniels. Connor says, Waterboy, we suck again. That reminds me, don't smoke crack. Lawrence Taylor, one of his best lines ever in a movie. Spectacular actor. You may remember him such things such as WrestleMania with Bam Bam Bigelow.
I met Bam Bam. Did I ever tell you that?
Oh, he was born and raised in Asbury Park, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
He
and
also
his
went to our
kids
high school.
went to Neptune.
Okay. He also went to our high school.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that part.
Well, no, not at high school. So our high school went to Rob and I both grew up in Hazlitt, so Raritan High School. They had a wrestling event there, and Bam Bam Bigelow was supposed to be the star of it. So, and it was a one of those fundraisers for the class as to turn to the class trip and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we from what I heard, he didn't go on. From what I heard, he was not able to go on due to issues, things he put in his body. I'll put it that way. But he died not too much longer afterwards. Remember right?
No, yeah, he OD'd, didn't he?
Yeah, I want to say that. So that's what I'm saying. I want to make light of it, but yeah he went into our high school, just didn't get the wrestling there. NYG, NYY, what will they do about a quarterback? They'll figure it out. Listen, it's not like Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders were the only options at quarterback, guys. And it's not like we've lost out on Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. Like, people are acting like this is it. We're done. We can't get a quarterback next year. We don't know that yet. We got to find out. There's a lot of time left before this whole thing is done. You got another 5 months before you got to worry too much. Demon time. These decisions can make or break us. That's the truth right there. 100% truth at all there. Brandon plays. I think the Eagles do care. Do you think they want us getting a good quarterback? Here's the thing. The Eagles, this is reverse what we just talked about a minute ago. The Eagles front office cares. The Eagles ownership cares. If you're a backup player on the Eagles, do you think you're going out there saying, let's just let the Giants win this one? They need a quarterback, and we want to stop them from getting a quarterback. No.
Yeah, they're playing for a contract somewhere else.
Damn straight they are. Damn straight they are. So you don't think the Giants ownership was secretly going, don't win this game. Don't win this game. We need a quarterback. I guarantee you, John Mara doesn't want to say it, but I guarantee you, you know what? He might not want to lose this game because the whole record going 0-9 home, but still, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter what ownership and fan base and all that kind of stuff wants. It's a matter of what the players want. Demon time, Ward, Sanders, or don't get a quarterback at all. Josh Grav, Collectibles. What are you talking about 5 months before we have to worry? This is the Giants. I've stopped worrying for the past 10 years straight. Everything right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think today is a classic example of they can't do anything right. I think that's a very safe statement to say at this point there. All right, guys, let's get into the game itself here. Like I said, we wanted to give you guys a chance right off the bat to kind of mourn everything and see where we're at with everything. But it's time to talk about the game itself, because there's a lot of good to talk about in this game as well. If you want to take away the whole, killing the draft pick kind of thing, like there's still a lot of good.
Like our players looking good.
Yeah, that's what should be important in the end. Again, we were embracing the tank, but you can't complain in the end the way things went down, because we did win a game that we weren't expected to win. We had a team that, let's be honest, the season is over. It has been over for quite a while, and they showed a hell of a lot of fight today.
Way more than Drew and I thought. Like, my goodness.
This is probably the best game you will probably ever see for Drew Lock.
Yeah. I mean, who was he drafted 2020, 2019? Like, yeah, by far, this is probably his best game. His output, like 3 touchdowns in the first half. Like, that's crazy. Like, the Giants haven't done that in years.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I said, this is the best offensive performance that I can remember the Giants doing in a long time, that's for sure. Drew Lock on the day, 17 of 23, 309 yards and 4 touchdowns, guys. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
For a guy who literally had 2 pick sixes last week. That's absolutely insane, guys. Tyrone Tracy on the day, 20 carries for 59 yards, 3.3 yards per carry average. Now that went way down his yards per carry because of towards the end they were just killing the clock. But that's just pretty crazy of him to do at that point there. Still, he gets the 1,000 yards on the season, total yards. He did also have 2 catches for 14 yards on the day as well. So again, not a great day stat-wise by Tracy, but he came in injured, gave it his all, and like I said, now broke the 1,000-yard total yards on the season there. So good for him on that.
Yeah. And you got Malik Nabers too, who was 171 yards on the day with 2 touchdowns. Like, that was an incredible performance on this guy.
Yeah.
And just kept going. Like, my God.
Yeah. And as Craig says, I'm sorry it was all Nabers, not Drew Lock. Probably not wrong in that, to be honest with you, to a certain degree.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about 171 yards compared to 309 yards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take that away, 130 yards to other players.
Only 2 players had more than 2 catches in the day. Only 3 had more than 2. Like, there was definitely just throw the damn ball to the guys that can catch it.
Yeah.
And Malik Nabers was getting bombs, absolute bombs. It's 7 catches, like you said, 171 yards. That's a 24.4 yard average on the catches. And he had a couple of catches, like 2-3 yards short routes. Like, it wasn't like it was all bomb. Like, there was a couple of shorter ones. Just absolute dominant performance by Nabers. Absolutely. Like, if you guys want to look for positive lights to come out of this, here's a guy who was, again, injured in the game, injured leading into the game, and just absolutely took over. That's a positive. I mean, these weren't like wide open for everything at that point, I mean, as Craig said it again here, I'm going to put this comment up because this is what I was saying during the game even. Imagine when Malik gets an average quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, here's a guy who did over 1,000 yards, guys.
With 3 quarterbacks. 4
crappy quarterbacks. And he only played in 13 games so far this season?
Yeah. He was, as I was say, injured for 3, 4.
So, like, that's goddamn impressive. Like, if you give this guy an average quarterback, you go ahead and give him an average quarterback, and he's probably a 1,400 yard receiver all day long this year.
Yeah.
So many that he just didn't get hit in the right spot there. Now, you can also say his drops are probably costing him 100 yards too as well. So I'll give you guys that because I know someone's going to say that. But like I said, absolutely dominant performance. He had Wan'Dale Robinson, 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. He did that one big drop as well, or he also had a really good day probably. But here's another guy that is, we talked about, we said Wan'Dale Robinson is a 100-catch guy. We said that going into this season. Where is he at now? He's probably not far, guys. And be honest, he'd probably be a 100-catch guy if he just didn't drop the ball so often. But 78 receptions going into this game. So we had, let's see, we said 5. So yeah, he's got 83 catches now. He's got 17 more catches to get there. He won't get there, but it'll be pretty damn close. So he'll be in the 90s at least.
Yep. And just think how many of those were drops too.
Oh, he'd be over 100 right now if it wasn't for the drops, guys. I'll say point blank. That's one thing he's got to work on this offseason. He's got to work on trying to get these drops taken.
Get that Crisco off those fingers.
The one literally bounced off his hands. He was wide open. You know, like that was bad. That was pretty bad. Let's see here. Then you got Slayton had 1 catch for 32 yards, which was a touchdown. Tracy, like we said, had 2 for 14. Chris Manhurst had 1 for 12, and Singletary had 1 for 9. Defensive side of the ball, Jason Pinnock, who got hurt in the game even, 7 tackles, 3 assists. We had a freaking awesome day. Dane Belton, 7 tackles, 1 assist, and also an interception, which we had 2 interceptions there. You had Andrew Phillips, who had 4 tackles and 2 assists, getting his first interception of his career. And that was actually on a ball that got slightly tipped there by Brian Burns as the ball left, kind of became a little bit of a flying duck. But 2 interceptions. I think we just about doubled our season total here in this game. It's just about absolutely insane. Like all these things that Giants couldn't do all year long and did today. Like why they waited till week 17 to put everything together, I don't know. Someone's got to tell me because I don't get it there. But
doesn't make sense.
Only sack on the day went to Kayvon Thibodeau. 2 sacks today. Kayvon Thibodeau, as well as also Nunez Roches as well, got 1 as well there. So as we lose Rob there for a moment there, he's having some technical difficulties. So yeah, like I said, good game overall for a lot of players in the Giants side. And again, all these injuries, guys. Look at the offensive line in this game. You had nobody where they were supposed to be. Left tackle, starting the season, Andrew Thomas. Jermaine Illuminor is there now. You had left guard, John Runyon. Nope, now you got Aaron Stinney there. Center, John Michael Schmitz. Nope, he's out. You got Greg Van Roten playing there now. You know, right guard, again, Greg Van Roten is supposed to play there. Now you got Jay Kubas, undrafted rookie free agent, playing there. Right tackle, supposed to be Jermaine Illuminor. You got Evan Neal playing there. And we put up 45 points. Guys, I said during the game in the very beginning that the Colts were losing this game a lot more than the Giants were winning it, sorry. That can't hold up when you put 45 points up on the board. That can't. You know, I don't want to be the Giant fan that's been so negative on this team all year long and then goes into like, oh, well, the other team just played shitty and that's why we won a game finally. No, this was just a good offensive game by the Giants where everything just got put together right, along with the Colts playing bad. It goes both sides. Because you could play a crappy defense all day long and not score 45 points still. Some of the credit has to go on to the Giants. Some of it has to. I don't know what percentage you want to throw there. I don't pretend to be able to play those games. Guys, let us know in the comments what percentage you want to give to each one there. How much of it was the defense playing bad for the Colts and how much was the offense playing good. But, you know, a lot of it to me was just Nabers just beasting. And like I said, this was a takeover game for him. So, you know, kudos to him. It's good to see that. You know, as much as we wanted to lose this game because we wanted the draft pick, absolutely just amazing, the game he had there. So, you know, we'll give him the kudos there. And then, of course, you got to also not forget Smith Marset getting a 100-yard kickoff return to start the second half. Guys, he won the game by 12, but let's be honest. If it wasn't for the kickoff return, the end of the game wouldn't have gone the way it went. I mean, Flacco was forcing throws and stuff like that, just trying to make something happen because they were way down. if that touchdown didn't happen, you could easily sit there and say the Colts could have won that game. Easily could have. You know, it's just like I said, absolutely insanity to see this kind of outcome there. And like I said, I'm trying to look at it not so negatively. Again, I want the draft pick. I'm pissed we don't have the draft pick anymore, the first overall pick. But I'm also excited for what the Giants did, because we talked about it. This team didn't show any fight. It hasn't shown any heart for how long. This was fight. This was heart. We can't sit there and complain they're not showing it and then get angry when they do show it. Even though, again, I know the draft implications, obviously, to it. This was a team that played so much different than every other team we've seen this season. Every other variation of this Giants team. They played hard. They played to win. And I got to think that part of it was they didn't want to be the team to break that record, to be the first team to go 0-9 at home there, as we got Rob back from his unscheduled break there.
Union break. Sorry, guys.
Lunch clock.
I to get some lunch in there. A little hibachi.
Coffee break.
Yeah.
Let's get some more of the comments there, guys. And then we're going to get into a couple topics here, but talk to you guys about there. Or depending on how long you guys want to talk about the game, we might just stay on the game there. We're not used to people actually wanting to talk about the game.
It's still crazy.
I've been having talk about that are outside of the game because I've been anticipating, these things here. So let's see here.
Which is crazy too. Like we'll talk about around the NFL right now. You got the Browns and Fins that are tied at 3. You got the Green Bay Packers who's up on Minnesota by 3 points.
The only game I care about right now is the Browns and Fins.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's all I care about.
Also, the Winter Soldier showed up today, I have to say. I have to put that out there because I'm calling
Buffalo Soldier. We'll get to that in the picks tomorrow.
I can't help it. I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
I had to bring
anyway, back to the Giants.
Fantasy football. I also got Joe Burrow.
As Brandon Plays says, Banks, discuss. He sucks. That discussion you want to have? I'm being serious. Like, I'm assuming that's what he means. Like, and here's the problem. And I've said this all year long, and I'll repeat it again because this is the biggest issue. Is the Giants are forcing a guy into the role that isn't ready for it. Point blank. They're putting him into, you're the top receiver. He's not ready for it. The top corner, I'm sorry. He's not ready for it.
Well, it goes hand in hand. Like, you're going to have to go against Justin Jefferson? Like, okay. There you go. Have fun.
But there was 3 big mistakes the Giants made this offseason. 3. The first one, not getting the backup to legitimately threaten Daniel Jones for a starting job. We said that from the get-go.
100%.
2 is not getting more help on defensive line. We all saw the obvious need there. Number 3, and it's actually should be number 2 as far as order of importance.
I just
wanted to skip it. We didn't get to it before I got to the other 2. Not getting a legit corner and forcing Deonte Banks to be corner number 1 when he's clearly not ready. And we knew he wasn't ready last year. Let's be honest, he got toasted by guys like CeeDee Lamb and Scary Terry and all. Not that other players don't get toasted by those guys who are really good receivers, but he looked not ready at all.
I was about to say, listen, it's not fair to say he just got toasted, but those are legitimate number 1s.
Yeah, it's like you took your cookies out of the oven too soon and then complained you got food poisoning.
Yeah, salmonella.
Yeah, it's not a fish. Like you did this to yourself, and then I feel bad for him. And now there's all the issues. He got benched the one game, there's attitude issues and blah blah blah. Listen, I don't pretend to know behind the scenes what happened with that stuff. I don't. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to act like I know things I don't know. But what I am going to sit there and say is that you put him in a bad position. And there's the chance that part of that is the Giants' fault for putting him in that position.
There's a big part of that.
Yeah.
And
can't do it.
And the problem is some players need to be put in that position. Some players need to be coached up and put in that position. Like, it's like some players will thrive off of being thrown into the deep end, if you will. Some players need to go into the shallow end and play the water before they get into the deep end.
How many analogies are we to make with this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're thrown into the deep end of the pool. Sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes you learn to swim. And then I'm waiting for the guy from Jaws coming out, like talking like a pirate.
Yeah.
But it's
the
like
tiger sharks.
We put him in this position, and I feel bad for him, even though, again, he's had his own issues. We put him in a bad position. The big obvious thing, and I know a lot of Giants fans were calling for it, and the longer got, I was calling for it towards the end of it, was Stephon Gilmore. Should have been talked to. Again, I've said this before on the show. I'll say it again. This isn't Madden. You can't just pick a player, click a button, and he comes to your team. Like, Stephon Gilmore said, I want no part of that dumpster fire whatsoever.
Who's publicly talked about the Giants and how bad we are.
I'm just saying, like, they could have called him up. Joe Shane said, hey, this is Joe Shane. Click. I don't want to be a part of the Giants. Like,
sometimes look at the number like,
screw that.
Yeah, screw that guy.
The 212 area code, nope.
Yeah.
Hit the FU button on that one. Like,
yeah.
So, but like I said, I still think they did wrong by him. And I think after the quarterback position, a CB1 is probably our second most important position to fill in this offseason. So, all right, let's get into the rest of the comments here. Let's see here. Craig says, I'm sorry, it was all neighbor. Oh, we already got to that one there. Connor says, maybe we can find a quarterback working at the Piggly Wiggly like Kurt Warner.
That's fantastic.
You never know. I'm going to go to my local Publix. Hey, you a bag boy. Can you throw a spiral?
Nice toss.
Because was he a cashier or a bag boy? I remember I've heard both parts of that story there. Bag boy, and I've heard
yeah, I mean, you're probably one and the same.
Yeah, I know, but they're not. It's a different position. Listen, you've been in
it's different position
where you can't use bags.
Yeah, but not that time.
I'm just saying, like, because down here in Florida, if you go to Publix, they have somebody who will bag the groceries for you. Now, I don't like that personally. It's almost like the whole pumping your gas thing. Like, I do it better because I care about it. Like, I'll keep the frozen stuff in a bag. I'll keep the produce in a bag. You know what I mean? Like, I'll separate, make it easy to put away. But they have that there. So I don't know. I don't know which one he was. Let's see here. Kind of, hey, Deb, or maybe at Costco. LOL. Because Costco is the place. Craig says maybe sign another offensive lineman, build depth on D-line, draft Sanders or Cam, and we're back in business. I still think the corner part. But again, I don't know. I'm not giving up on us getting one of the top quarterbacks in this draft still if we really want it.
I think we're still going to win.
I still think we're going to get one unless we win against the Eagles. That's what's going to get us. Is if we win against the Eagles, we're screwed.
Well, it also depends too, like what goes on this week with the other big teams that are terrible.
Yeah, like I said, they're really the wild card is the Patriots because they don't need a quarterback. Do they want Travis Hunter so bad that they're not willing to move? So they make sure they get him because they need a corner, they need a receiver. He fits both.
Yeah,
I could see them saying, "I'm staying put. I'm not moving. I want this guy."
Which that's okay if you want the number one draft pick to be Hunter, like, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
gives us more opportunity.
He's the Heisman. He's the guy who's supposed to be the best. So,
yeah.
Connor says maybe sign OBJ on the cheap next year and bring back his magic as a Giant somehow because I hate watching film on him and hating him. Like, I'd like to like him again. Honestly, I would be for us bringing OBJ back because I think if we do, it's going to be a minimum deal and he's not going to have the same kind of role. I think it'd be a nice end to his career to come back to the Giants where he had all the success, as long as he's humble and doesn't have the issues that he's had.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's there or not yet. Last time we really saw him do anything big in the news was the whole plane incident, and that wasn't a good look for him. Yeah. Greg says Drew Lock was auditioning for a job from a team next year. Yes, he was. And I think 100%. He passed the audition. I'm pretty sure he passed the audition.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be the number one somewhere, but he would definitely be a good backup somewhere.
Connor says, just imagine if we had got Baker Mayfield when I said we should have we probably would have been sitting pretty for the last couple of years. No, we'd F him up too. If I'm being honest, I mean, I'm like, maybe it's just the negativity in me, but I feel like that's the honest answer. Like, Baker Mayfield is where he's at because of the coaching he's gotten. You know, he's gotten Dave Canales last year, worked with him hard, as the same guy who fixed Geno Smith. You know, and now this year he's doing even better. You know, but his offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, might be the guy that we bring in as a head coach if we do.
Yeah, listen, yeah, 100%. Because Baker, let's be real. He's, besides going down to the Buccaneers, he's always started the season off hot and fills it out and just flaked. He's not been a good quarterback. And the past 2 years, he's really been, he turned himself around and played great ball. I
think the key is he did the hokey pokey.
And he shook it all about.
That's what it's all about. Left foot. Craig says Nabers over Marvin Harrison Jr. Where is Marvin Harrison Jr. even at this year right now? I'm curious. I haven't looked him up in a little while to see where he's at. You know, he hasn't done nearly as much as Nabers has, but he hasn't had a bad rookie season. Let's see. 57 catches, 822 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Not a bad year.
That's not a bad year. You know, again, we're talking about guys in like Nabers that are literally setting like NFL standards for rookie seasons. Like, that's not normal to hit 1,000 yards and 100 catches and that kind of stuff. So,
well, I mean, you're also talking about too, like it's Arizona, like they.
Yeah. He also had 96 yards, by the way, against the Rams today for 6 catches, 96 yards. So that puts
that 400 something before.
That puts at 918 yards on the year. So yeah, if he has another big game, he's going to get potentially over 1,000 yards. If not, even 900 yards is not bad. It's just
for a rookie. That's a great year.
Yeah. But like I said, we said this ahead of time. Nabers had the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison had the shorter floor. Now, I want us to remember that when we talk about quarterbacks and all, because Marvin Harrison was the safer pick. Nabers was the splashier pick. Shedeur Sanders is the safer pick. Cam Ward is the splashier one. It's the same kind of thing with these two.
I mean, if we want to talk about last year too, and we're talking about Williams, we talked about him being, you know, I guess your safer pick, but Daniel was hands down the better pick.
Yeah.
And look who's got 2 wins. And look who's got the Bears, but they have 4 wins.
Yeah, that's it. We said it ahead of time. We did not like him. Sam, I am. We did not like Green Eggs and Ham. We were not big Bibbs. And it's the mental toughness. It's not even the fingernails and that stuff. It's his crying to his mommy, and the fact that when he lost Jordan Addison, he took a big step back.
He did.
People kept forgetting that for some reason. I don't know why. Like, he did not look good in the second half of last year in college. Like, people just kept on putting him up on this pedestal because they already had said he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. They had to validate their opinion, basically. Whereas I think, and I'm not just trying to toot our own horn on this, because I think Rob and I are good with kind of not changing our opinion, adjusting our stuff when new information comes to light. But sometimes you just got to say, you know what? I might have been wrong on this. This kid's not playing as good anymore. Maybe he's been knocked down a peg. You know, like, it's okay to say that. We were high on John Michael Schmitz coming out of college. He hasn't been great for the Giants. No one's right 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's okay to say that. I don't know why people have issues with that. Let's see. Greg says we haven't scored over 20 points a game consistently since 2016. Yeah, it's been a while.
That's facts.
Been a while. Kid of Craze, Philly the Craze said, hey, where is Cop Pizzle? Probably on his channel.
Fair to say.
You know, we get occasional like comments like this. I don't know if like there's something we're missing. Because no offense to Cop Pizzle, I don't watch his show. It's not like I don't have any issue with him per se. It's just like there's just only so many shows I can watch. And there's some people that have really gone out of their way to support us that I want to make sure I support them back. Cop Pizzle's put comments on our videos before, but you know, I wouldn't say we have a great relationship. Like, we've never talked to him in person. We've never had him on the show. He's welcome to come on. Just
come on down.
Haven't had it. Cats and Cod. That's an interesting name. Cats and Cod. Tom Brady wasn't picked first. People act like there's 2 quarterbacks in the draft. There's other choices. The Giants' problem way deeper than just quarterback.
It's also the system, how it works that too. Like, let's be real. Like, Tom Brady, absolutely, it's known that he fell way back. Same with Russell Wilson. He fell way back, but they went to systems that worked well for them.
Yeah.
And granted, Tom Brady might go down as one of the best, if not the best ever.
He is the best, point blank. He's the GOAT. I'm not going to say otherwise, but
I'm just saying, like, you could argue this and that, whoever times this and that, but like, there's no disputing that he's going down as one of the best, if not the best.
Oh yeah, but like, here's when you say that though. I got to put it this way: how's Devin Leary doing? How is Joe Milton doing? How is Jordan Travis doing? How is Sam Hartman doing?
Sam is he's doing great.
But I'm just saying, like, these are all quarterbacks that were drafted late last year in the draft. Like, I love people pull out Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady was picked in the sixth round. You can get people look at Brock Purdy. For every single Tom Brady, for every single Brock Purdy, there's 100 other guys that you had to go through in the latter rounds to find that guy.
Yeah.
And that's why people are upset. Now, I'm not sitting there saying it's just there's 2 quarterbacks in the draft and that's it. I'm not going to be that guy. But what I am going to say is that we use Tom Brady as an example. That is such an outlier. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's what's got, like, Brock Purdy, right?
Yeah,
he's probably top half quarterback of the past 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to go past 3 years. Yeah, because he's looked bad this year to a lot of degree.
Top half of the past 3 years, and 7th round pick.
Yep,
like, he was supposed to be the backup to Trey Lance.
Yeah,
Trey Lance tore his ACL, looked terrible when he was there at San Francisco. Brock Purdy came in, balled out, never looked back.
He was the backup to the backup. Was he the third quarterback on their?
He might have been. Yeah, he might have been.
I'm sure he was. That's how bad it was. Like, he wasn't supposed to even get a chance to start. Same as Brady wasn't supposed to get a chance to start. It just happens that way sometimes.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, teams pick up, like, look at Matt Castle. Like, when everyone picks up, like, Tom Brady, I always bring up Matt Castle. Everyone forgot about the guy, how great, how he, was in the NFL, like, not that good.
Yeah.
But when he was at the Patriots in New England, he had 9 wins when Tom Brady tore his ACL.
Yep.
Like, he went into a good system that worked out for him, which gave him a longevity in the career. In the money.
And the money. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And the money. Yeah. Greg Turdhaller. I'm hoping that's not your last name. Us losing the number 1 pick just means we can't make a boneheaded decision and draft Sanders. Oh, yes, we still can. Don't you worry. Listen, I said nothing.
Write it on up.
Nothing. You don't know yet. You don't know until that draft is done, or there's a draft trade done, or whatever. Because, like I said, if the Patriots keep that first pick, they're not taking him. And what's crazy is how much crap has the Sanders family between Deion, Shador, Deion Jr., Shiloh, all these guys. Oh, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. He might not be.
That'd be amazing.
He might not be. Maybe that's the humble sandwich he needs. Because you know what it is? Sometimes, and I'm not going to say it's the same as with Amon-Ra St. Brown, for example. Remember, like, historically he was drafted, behind a lot of receivers, and he remembers the receivers exactly where they were picked and everything. He can tell it off the top of his head. Sometimes people are driven by certain things. Sanders not going first overall might really drive him. That might really get him going.
Really turn his gears.
Yes. Grinds his gears.
Yeah.
Brandon says they got to be smarter and show heart when it matters. Well, they showed heart. I'm not saying they showed a smart heart.
I was about to say they weren't smart about
I
winning.
like that label on the margarine butter thing.
Yeah.
Connor says, or maybe keep Drew Lock and let's see how he does next year and get a QB late in the draft. He's actually not playing too bad considering he was getting first snaps. No, I don't want Drew Lock. I'm sorry. I know
he
had a
looked
great
good
game
today. He looked good today. He's looked
had
terrible all year.
How did he look last week?
Literally, preseason, he was getting booed out of the game when he got injured. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah. Greg says Hunter is the pick unless he's gone, and then it's Ward. We'll see. But Cats and Cots is exactly Greg. We have such fun names today. Craig says most quarterbacks picked outside the first round don't last. 100%. And the weird thing is, I feel like the mid to latter ones do. And the ones that I really think that are succeeding because they're mid to latter round picks because they have better teams around them. They have better success rate because they have, not just the talent around them, but a better coaching staff around them to help them and stuff like that. It's almost like that whole it takes a village thing. Like, I feel like it's like that with quarterbacks to a certain degree. Like, a quarterback's success is based on a lot of things. And the number one factor is the quarterback themselves, obviously. But it's also, do they have protection? Do they have people to throw to? Do they have a run game to help take things off their back to a certain degree? Do they have the right coach at that point? Do they have the right position coach? There's 100%. A lot of factors that go into it. Is the offense the right scheme for what they do? And is it an effective scheme?
Well, Sam Darnold. Look at him.
Yeah.
Terrible. And Green. Terrible. Heinous. Looks top 10 quarterback this year.
Well, he also just went to two great offensive coaches back to back as well, which helped.
Yep.
Shanahan and then O'Connell.
Yep. Look at Geno Smith. Eugene Smith himself.
Yeah. Dave
punched in the locker room. Punched in the locker room because you were a terrible teammate.
You bringing up the punch him in the locker room thing. You just
I do because you're that terrible of a person. You get punched in the locker room. Listen, you're a team sport, but
not to be the one to go ahead and automatically back Geno Smith. But you said that terrible of a person. For all you know, that I don't remember who punched him. For all we know, that guy was an a-hole, and it was just like two.
Pretty sure it was one of his offensive linemen.
I remember. If I remember,
pretty sure it's the dude on the line.
If I remember right, it was over him not showing up to a football camp that he was supposed to be at.
I just know he got punched in the face. I
know, and it's not a normal scenario, and it's definitely not a good look. That's for damn sure. I'm just saying, I'm not willing.
He's turning around, and he's looking.
Turn around.
Every now and then I see Hawkeye throw the ball down the field. Turn around.
Oh my God, it's crazy. That whole thing is crazy. Anyway, let's see here.
Moving on.
Losing where we're at because we got so many here. Let's see here. There we go. This is where we're at here. Craig says Banks didn't get toasted; he got burnt. That's a good one. That is a good one.
I mean, you burn your bread to make toast.
No, you lightly roast it. It's like a coffee. There's different layers of roast. I got you, Craig. Don't worry. I'm being mean to the people commenting, Rob.
Get off my lawn.
I already upset one of our listeners earlier. Greg says Hunter is our new number one CB. Will shut down half the field day one and solidify the defense. Burns and Tibbs will have career years, and the rest of the secondary will look good. Listen, from your mouth to God's ears, man. I'll take it. If that's what actually happens. He says Hunter makes us a top 5 defense day one. Ooh, you are way high on Hunter, I can tell. And could potentially win defensive rookie of the year, maybe even defensive player of the year. Only one other player in NFL history has done that. Yeah, I think you're much higher on Hunter than I am. I'll put it that way. Not that I'm low on Hunter. I just think that he's, I don't know where he's going to be at, and I definitely don't think that high. Gwynwine, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me know if I'm not. Says I got a question. Can we still get a QB?
It's Jamar Cowbell.
Get a QB. We could still get a QB. Of course we can. Like we already had comments here. There's more than 2. And we can still get one of those 2. So this ain't over yet. Greg says, not to mention Hunter gives us an X factor for 10 plays a game on O and 3 to 4 on special teams. And then he goes to Guinuai and says, sign Cousins or Field as a stopgap. Fields honestly might be intriguing option. He played good for Pittsburgh this year.
Yeah, it's
and because he got benched, didn't play the whole season, he might be cheap. I think he's going to hold on to him.
You definitely get Fields for cheap. The question is, like you just said, will the Steelers get rid of him? Because what's their deal with Russell Wilson? Like
1 year deal, same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like you might want to pay the guy that you benched that did play well for you. Like he didn't play bad. He just wasn't.
Yeah,
what Russell Wilson was.
There was also a thing in the trade where if you got so many snaps, that the trade kicker went up to a higher draft pick, and that's one of the things they said was going to happen. But you also look at the fact that Russell Wilson is 36 years old. You want to rebuild with a 36-year-old quarterback?
No.
That looked bad the prior 2 seasons.
Once again, talk about systems and where they're at. Like Broncos is definitely not a fit for Russell Wilson.
Nope. I mean, keep in mind the guy they have in Pittsburgh is the same guy who made Ryan Tannehill look good.
This is true.
So, Greg also says Hunter and Nabers on the same field together for 10 plays a game would be sick. He's loving him some Hunter right now.
Right?
He says if the season ended today, they'll be in a position to draft Ward. Yeah. He says I want Hunter, but the Patriots won't botch their draft pick like we did. It's not even that. I still think the Patriots could have potentially traded away. I really do. I think that you get offered a bunch of first-round picks to go ahead and get a quarterback, then you're going to say, here you go, take your quarterback. And you're going to say, I'll get Hunter, or I'll get the kid from Michigan later on, or somebody like that to be our corner. There's other options you got. And this is a draft that's not very top-heavy, but it's very mid-heavy. Like there's a lot of guys here to get like the second, third round. They're going to be really much better than you usually get in the second, third round. But the guys in the first round, after the first 10 or so, they're not that much different than the guys you get later on.
Correct.
So Craig says good teams have good O-lines. Get this O-line fixed. No! Like I said, I think it's on the right path. I really do. Before the injuries happened, everything's going better for the offensive line. What we need is we need a little more quality depth, I feel like. And Greg Van Roten's on a 1-year deal. He's the one guy we might need to, move on from. We'll see what happens. Greg says 1K as a rookie is a great year for sure. He says Shador holds the ball too long for my liking. And it says Cam Ward plays hero ball sometimes, so it's pick your poison with these QBs. Exactly. There's pros and cons to both of them. That's why, there's discussions. Steven says at least teams are thanking the Giants for their new QB. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Greg says Tom Brady's one of those. Those false equivalencies are diabolical. He said, a better indication is if they were a 3-star coming out of high school, then they probably will be an all-timer at QB. Josh Graves, I hate that argument that Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round. This is an unbelievable outlier, and that happened to a good franchise that didn't need a QB and groomed him. Stop with that argument. I'm with you. Like I said, I get why people make it. I'm not trying to knock people that make it. I do think we got to be realistic with what that is, Josh Hall says there's so many QBs that weren't drafted in the first round that don't even make it past the first 3 years in the league. Yep. 100%. And then I'm not sure if we're trying to drop an F-bomb there with that or something. Is it Flick? Maybe is it Flick we're going? Let me know. Yeah. Let me know without the carrot how we're saying the name here. He says the Patriots probably the only team that would let Travis play both sides. So that's the best fit for him. Yeah. Like I said, it's not a bad fit for him. I think it's a perfect place for him to go. Josh says, and people that are saying we should start the season with Locke, are you out of your freaking mind? I think they're kidding, man. I really do. He said the guy threw 2 pick sixes last week. Yeah, like I said, they're kidding.
100%. Yeah.
Craig says, no to Drew Lock looks horrible in Giants blue. Greg says, only former 3-stars win Super Bowls. Mahomes, Foles, Flacco, Brady, Wilson, and Rodgers were all 3-stars or estimated 3-stars. Jackson and Allen were 3-stars as well. Josh says, Hunter makes a top 5 defense day 1. The Giants can't stop the run to save their life. Yeah, I mean, before this game, I feel like we were doing better. The first half, even we were doing better. It was second half, Jonathan Taylor just took over. Absolutely.
He did. It was funny because, I was watching this game earlier. And I looked at it. I was like, the Giants came out strong. They're going to lose this game. Like, part of me thought like they were just going to lose this game.
Yeah,
like,
I thought
almost did.
They'd still find a way to lose the game. I mean,
they looked like they were trying to fix to lose that game.
Yeah, it's insanity, absolute insanity. Yeah. AJ says worst win in history. Greg says at Josh. Yep, shuts down half the field and allows the pass rush to get home and allows the other DBs to siphon off the rest of the receivers. I said, it all depends on what you think on him. I mean, it all depends on how high you are on him. I mean, I don't know that I'm that high in him, but I'm not going to knock someone who is because we haven't done our full draft coverage on him yet. So, but I'll tell you, I still think receivers where he's better suited, what I have seen so far. Josh says, at Greg, what does that have to do with stopping the run? Well, we still have to stop the run. We both got to do. And Greg says, at Josh, we had the front four. We need linebackers. There are too hard to find quality linebackers in the draft this cycle. All right, guys. Well, guys, we're an hour and 17 minutes into the show. We had a whole lot of things we were going to talk about here with you guys today, so we did not anticipate having all this to talk about. So we're going to move that stuff over to next episode tomorrow. We're going to talk about Cam Ward quitting on Miami in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Shedeur Sanders sending a not-so-subtle hinted message with his cleats. The fact that we think Joe Shane should not be able to pick our next quarterback. And Eli Manning being named a finalist for the Hall of Fame. So all that stuff is going to be on Monday. We're going to move that too. Because like I said, it's just, we're going to have like a 5-hour show basically, guys, if we can start doing these kind of topics here. So we'll do that next time. We will do a mock draft as well with you guys on Monday as well tomorrow. And we will, of course, go over all the games that happened here today with our our Week 17 review and scores. We will make that very quick, that part there, because of the fact that, again, this is getting to be a longer episode than we expected. Just to talk about the game itself here. It's been a while since we've had a game people actually want to talk about.
Right.
So, though it's half the game, half the draft pick thing, obviously. So I feel like we should just let this going because Josh and Greg are in the comments section going at each other, basically. I'm just going to let you.
Oh, let's get ready to rumble.
As long as we keep it classy, it's all good. And Ace, that ninja says, my Giants brothers, how y'all holding up? Well, we're holding up. We're holding up. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Like, would I prefer that we still had the first overall pick? Yes. It's not the end of the world.
We got next week, guys.
Yeah.
There's plenty of football to talk about.
I got to say, though, how funny would it be if we went and got Justin Fields this offseason when Justin Fields was traded basically by us to the Bears because we didn't think we needed a quarterback because we had Daniel Jones. When we lose Daniel Jones, we lose, but we keep him up, we're moved on from him, and the next year Justin Fields is our quarterback.
You're probably getting a lot cheaper.
There'd be a sense of irony to that whole situation. It really would be. So
yeah.
All righty, guys. So we'll be back again tomorrow for you guys. Appreciate you all for coming on. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button. We've been going through so many comments. To be honest, we haven't even paid the bills yet. So we're going to pay the bills real quick and then we'll get going out of here.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty, guys. So, again, we'll be back again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we're always live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and
my
LinkedIn profile, because why not? We can. Woo! And, of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, all the big ones there, guys. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe, hit the share button there. Also, if you want to also support the show, like I said, you also can do the buymeacoffee.com. We can also go on YouTube and send a super chat. You can also send stars on Facebook, guys. We do appreciate y'all supporting us. This has been a crazy day for views for us here on YouTube. definitely appreciate that. We've gotten really more views in the last 48 hours here than a lot of channels I know have gotten in a month. So definitely much appreciated, guys.
Really feel like it. Thanks, guys.
And then we've had, just on YouTube alone, we've had 6,500 people have viewed this channel. Just YouTube. That's not including Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, all the audio people. Like, seriously, that's we appreciate that, guys. We really do.
Thank you so much.
We know point blank that without you guys actually watching the show and listening to the show, we're just two idiots getting drunk and watching football together, which is fine too as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say, would have done it anyway.
But it's nice to do with a bunch of people watching and commenting and joining in the fun there. So definitely appreciate you guys for that. So like I said, we'll be back again tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. And I guess we really should say it with a little gumption today here, huh?
Yeah.
As always, Giant fans.
Go G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.